So I did a fresh dandelion infusion with olive oil for this soap. And what I did is I left it in the sunlight all day and allowed it to kind of cook as long as possible in the sunlight. And it was a very hot day that day. It was 80 some degrees out when I did that. And then I also put it in the oven overnight on a low heat to go ahead and get all the goodie out. And so here you can see I am trying to scrape out every bit of oil that I can so I can use as much as possible for the soap. We use about 30% olive oil in our normal soaping recipe, so we are going to get 30% total out of the soap bar with this dandelion infusion. Here I am just transferring that olive oil into some jars, and I don't have a whole lot of time, just a couple of days to go ahead and get this oil used up because I did do a fresh infusion. If I were to let this sit, we could have the chance of growing some bacteria or mold. So I needed to go ahead and use this oil as soon as possible. Once it goes through the saponification process, we do not need to worry about that bacteria growing. So that's kind of the benefit of using a fresh infused oil for soap making. So here's where I added that olive oil that was infused with the dandelion into my batch of hard and soft oils for the soap I'm going to make. I did end up making 2 batches of this. Next, I am straining my lye water into my already melted oils. Both of these liquids are around 85 degrees right now. I will be adding honey to this recipe as well once the soap is mixed up and started. I'm aware that honey, especially the sugar in the honey, usually heats up your batter, so I wanted to soap as low as I possibly could. So I'm just double checking my temperature here as I mix my lye in with my oils, and it's still at 85. And then I am going to go ahead and add the honey to the soap. Now this honey is produced by the bees that are just across the lab, across the road from the lab. So it just adds a little bit more of a homemade touch to it. So I will mix this up again and again check the temperature to see where we're at, to see if it has heated up a little bit. As I suspected, it heated up about 10 degrees, but it was still below 100 degrees, and I was happy with that. So I wanted to hurry up and get it into the mold because I wasn't sure how the honey was going to react to the soap to see if it was going to accelerate trace or how thick the batter was. And it really didn't thicken it at all, so I am pleased with that. I also absolutely love the color here. I didn't add any colorant to this soap. So the yellow that you're seeing is from the dandelions and also a little bit from the honey. And I also, on this batch of soap in particular, did not add any fragrance. But you can smell a little bit of the sweetness of the honey, and you can smell a little bit of a floral scent to it, which is the dandelion. So just double checking again the temperature, and it has not gone up at all. I am aware that these thermal or infrared thermometers only check the temperature of the top of the surface. But overall, I was happy with that temperature. And of course, I couldn't just leave it completely plain. I had to add a little decoration, so I added some calendula petals. These are not dandelion petals. Calendula is just another botanical that we use in soap. So here you have it, the 2 loaves of soap I made of the dandelion and honey.